Melbourne Footy Club came into this year with huge expectations on the back of a barnstorming run through the preliminary final last year, and for whatever or however many reasons you want to throw up, that hasn't happened this year. They got back on the winners list on the weekend against the Fremantle Footy Club, and it was really impressive in the end because I don't think it was sort of clicking early in the piece, but they hung in and got the win, and I reckon
they grounded out.
Yeah, I think the coach should be satisfied and happy with that, and he's been good enough to join us. Goody, good morning and well done.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Morning, Rui. Yeah, it was. It was good to get a result, and as you said, there was still plenty to work on, but we grounded out in the end and got the result we were looking for.
Hey, what done, Goody? Mate, I think we were all fascinated when we saw the press release come out from the football club regarding the coaching changes for the last half of the season. I'm just curious, how collaborative were all those decisions that were made on the coaching shuffle within the coaching fraternity at Melbourne?
Yeah, obviously there was, I guess when you're having a first half of the year like we had, there's obviously a lot of reasons, a lot of potential excuses that can be thrown up for why you're in certain positions. And I guess it was over some conversations over a 4 or 5 week period with management, with the coaches themselves about, what's our opportunity in this in moving forward as a club. And when we got to the point of the mid-season break, it was just we said to ourselves, how can we actually get better? What are our opportunities? And we implemented some things. And one of the things that we looked at in our club was development. And we wanted our players to look at these next 10 weeks to keep improving. And the 10 weeks that we have in front of us are opportunities to get better, and development with Brendan McCartney and Max Rook were areas that we wanted to bolster.
It's pretty unique. And I think by doing that with the coaches, did you sense a sense of, I guess, urgency amongst the players as a result of that? Did you feel the dynamic shift or the mentality shift from the playing group that they thought, gee, this is serious, the coaches are doing this, so things have changed?
I think it's whether it's high performance, whether it's coaching, whether it's playing group, you want to lead from the front about what are the opportunities that are presented in front of you, and we want to make sure that we don't want to waste time. And as a coaching group, we wanted to lead that process. So for our players, we want them to jump on board and keep getting better and not waste the 10 weeks that sit in front of them. So, there was a sense of urgency around the place last week. There was a sense of how can we get better and how can we improve, and they implemented it really well against Fremantle.
Jack was back to being Jack in the first sort of minutes. I mean, was he just feeling better? His body was feeling better, or how did you see that, Jack Viney?
Yeah, well, he's missed a lot of footy, guys. He's hasn't played a lot of footy over the last 2 years. We've obviously saw him last year in the finals come in and produce some pretty high level footy, but this is probably the first time that he's actually shown a good block of games together, and with that a good block of training as well. And it has taken a bit of time to click, but at the same time, we gave him a role on the weekend, and really it was a role about getting him back to his strengths, about really hunting the opposition. He played on Michael Walters when he was in the midfield, and we know that's when Jack's at his best, but I think we just needed to just give him a bit more time, a few more games and some training, and I'm sure you'll see a really, really good Jack Viney in the second half of the year.
Tom McDonald was great in the second half. He found a bit of footy in the first half. I thought his response to the media post-game was a really mature one, understanding that he'd been in horrible form, probably as bad a turnaround as we've seen for a player in a while. How does he milk it now? Now that he's been able to discover a bit of form through a really hard patch, how do you help him milk that and stay in great touch?
Yeah, he's pretty honest, Tom. He certainly lets you know how he's going, but I think the thing that we've really worked on in the last, especially in the last month, we've got a group of young forwards with Sammy Wiedemann and Tim Smith and obviously Tom, 3 tools that haven't played a lot of footy together. And what we've really been focusing on is how can they actually work together to get the result. And on the weekend, Tom got the result in terms of the stats and the goals and how he performed, and obviously Tim did as well. But Sam Wiedemann's game shouldn't have been underestimated. It's probably one of the better 6-possession games I've seen from a key forward. So for those groups, it's about working together and coming together as a group, because they are still inexperienced and they haven't played a lot of footy together. But it was great to see Tom get some rewards, because there's no question he's been under pressure externally, and obviously internally we've been looking for him to play a little bit better as well.
Did he get up the ground a bit? It looked early in the piece. We had a look at his numbers. He got, I think 6 of his 8 touches were in the back half. So did you free him up a bit to move him up the ground a bit early?
Yeah, we did. We wanted him to get up his ground. He's a natural athlete. He certainly works really hard as a key position player, and we had a few opportunities with Tim Smith and Sam, being a bit deeper. So Tom certainly worked up the ground. We also used him in the second ruck, and that certainly got him into the game.
What about Jakey Lever? We're all a little bit concerned when he misses a game with a knee, of course, given his history, but the news appears to be pretty good. He's got some bone bruising. He'll be back in a week or two.
Yeah, I guess when you have an incident goes in a game of footy, in your first game back, like Jake had where a guy came across his knee, which was pretty pretty innocuous sort of incident, but at the same time it certainly sent a scare through Jake and through the club. And when the whole thing settled down, he had a bit of bone bruising, and he's back up and running now. He's missed a week of footy. There's a fair chance he'll miss again this week, and we're all building back up to play some good AFL footy in the last 7 or 8 weeks of the season.
You were really proactive as a footy club in adding those defensive pieces, Lever and May, over the last couple of years, Goody. If you had a wish list in terms of a player, what type of player would you love to be able to bring into the club in the off-season?
Oh, it's I think every area you're always looking to improve. There's no question that we've gone after the two key defenders, and we want to get them settled in our team and play some good footy. We have got an inexperienced forward half, so anything that's through the midfield, forward to centre, that adds a little bit of class to our team would be beneficial.
What do you do in terms of goal setting from this point forward, Goody? So you've ticked off one, you've got to win against Freo. So what would be a successful back half of the year in your eyes?
I think getting ourselves back playing the footy that we know we're capable of. There was a big step forward on the weekend, and especially our stuff around the footy. It had a bit more method to it. There's no question we need to keep improving our connection inside 50. As I've said a couple of times already in this interview, that we have got a young forward line and it is taking time to gel, and there were still some issues on the weekend. But I think success for us as a team is continuing to get back to the footy that we know we're capable of, improve our connection, our ability to score inside 50, and really set up the back half of the year to play some really positive, strong footy against some good footy teams.
You picked up Kyle Dunkley in the mid-season draft. Where's he at?
He's been really impressive, really. He's played 2 games in the VFL now, and 3, and his last 2 games have been exceptional. So he's really starting to push for selection. He's a tough inside mid that can go forward and hit the scoreboard. So he's settled in really well, and he's not too far away from selection.
I appreciate your ear. I think you've got a good ear. I know you're a listener to the program. How's Rui going? And he's stepped up. The people have said I've been a bit harsh on him this morning. They've missed my sense of humour with Rui. They've misread me.
It's like having a coach again. It's beautiful. I love it.
I think Rui summed up well. The high accountability is good, Daz. You've got a high rating station and a high rating show, and Tim's a big loss, so keep him accountable and make sure he fills the shoes in the right way.
Spot on, Goody.
Appreciate the feedback. Well done, and on the win on the weekend. Good luck, mate. Thanks for joining us.